All right, now to the appeals process of convicted double murderer Alex Murdaugh. We have learned tonight he will not be in the courtroom for his appeals on Wednesday. That is the word from his defense attorney, Dick Harpootlian. There are actually two appeals before the state Supreme Court this week. One is a decision from the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to not grant a new trial after deciding former Colleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill wasn't credible, but that she did not tamper with the jury. That other appeal has to do with Circuit Court Judge Clifton Newman's decision to allow financial crimes into evidence during the original trial. Now, when this appeals process started, we were told both sides would get about 30 minutes to argue their case with a 10-minute rebuttal for the defense. But tonight we have word that each side's going to get 20 minutes on each appeal. So in essence, 40 minutes in all, plus the defense will still get that 10-minute rebuttal.
Now, if the state Supreme Court overturns Alex Murdaugh's murder conviction, the case could then head back to retrial, raising questions about where it would be held and what a retrial would even look like.
News 19's Jamin Wade speaking with a local attorney about who decides whether the case is retried and why the venue matters.
If a retrial happens in the Murdaugh case, it would not simply pick off where the first trial left off, from where the case could be held to how a jury would be selected. A second trial would come with major legal and logistical challenges. One of the biggest questions surrounding a possible retrial is where it would take place.
And sends the case back, what we call remand it to the trial court. It's going to go back to the same county, Colleton County. Venue matters because that's where the crime occurred, that's where the proper jurisdiction is. The only way the venue would change is if the defense lawyers made a motion to change venue and a judge granted that motion. But if it gets reversed on appeal, and there's, not to go too deep in the weeds, there's a lot of other things that can happen from that, additional appeals, etc.
Even if the Supreme Court overturns the conviction, a retrial is not automatic. The decision to try the case again would ultimately belong to the prosecutors.
Well, ultimately it would be the prosecutor. So if the case, again, making the assumption that the case is getting retried, that it's been reversed on appeal, it would be the prosecutors. The South Carolina Attorney General's office prosecuted the case the first time. They have the final say, the discretion about whether they're going to proceed with another prosecution or another trial.
The retrial would be a clean slate with both sides allowed to change strategy, evidence, and witnesses.
It certainly could. The prosecutors are not bound to try the case the same way. They can make strategic decisions to choose different witnesses, present different evidence, even different arguments. They're not handcuffed or bound to try the case exactly the same way, and neither is the defense for that matter. So it's completely a new trial. It's a reset button. If the South Carolina Supreme Court reverses the case.
One of the biggest hurdles in a retrial would be jury selection, in a case that has already been seen by millions through media coverage and documentaries.
Given how much publicity, high-profile nature, I believe the jury selection, if it was a second time around, would be much different, or at least I make the assumption that it would, because it'd be very difficult to find jurors who, one, don't know about the case and who haven't already made their kind of firmly held belief opinions about the case.
Beyond jury selection, Phillips says a retrial would come with intense pressure from national media and public interest, changing the entire courtroom environment.
You have the media circus that's there. That weighs heavy on a jury when they know, and again, there was a big effort to make sure identities are not disclosed, that they remain anonymous because you don't want improper influence, which is one of the issues on appeal through the clerk of court. I mean, there's just so many moving parts when you have a high profile, and this is the highest of profile. This is a national, internationally known case, all the documentaries and TV shows and fictionalized shows. I mean, there's going to be just an incredible media presence, amount of fans, whatever you want to call them, that are into true crime, podcasts. It just changes the very nature of everything that's done in that courtroom.
Now the South Carolina Supreme Court will decide whether the conviction stands, a ruling that could be months away. Jamin Wade, News 19 WLTX.
2 field goals in a row.